say. I was thinking the same thing.
Let's see. Here we go. Oh no, he didn't. You're right.
This is pretty close.
No, you're right. Hold on.
You were right on. We might have traveled. That's a different story.
What's the speed again?
We're looking at the out of bounds. No, he didn't go out of bounds. He didn't have, he got the shot off.
Yeah. Ain't landed a dude left. He spilled his beer. I thought he clearly stepped out, but you're right.
It looked like it.
Yeah, it looked like he was about to, like right here. But no, he kept his foot in bounds. Now, did he travel?
Was it 14?
One. Oh, he clearly traveled.
Who shot?
10.
Oh, okay. I followed 14 because I.
Well, see, he travels right where he gets to Taylor. Boom, he traveled right there.
Travel?
He's got.
He traveled right when he, he traveled right when he got the ball. Well, when he got right to Taylor, he took a step before he threw the ball down. Huh?
They would have won an overtime anyway.
That's clear when he traveled. But I mean, you don't.
15 points in the second half.
Yeah. After that first half.
What was the halftime score?
Well, I mean, the last
Right. Okay. Because I didn't see much. I missed the first 4 minutes.
No, you're right. Is there a final stat sheet?
Yeah. explain what happened in the last 3 minutes?
They made plays and we didn't. We had opportunities we didn't take advantage of, and they did. But as I told the team, it shouldn't have come to that. We showed such a lack of maturity at halftime in our approach coming out of halftime that I told them I was very disappointed in them. We had guys that were, cruising because we were up 11. And experienced guys who know better and know how quickly the game can turn. And they got on a roll. And by the time it got to the 3-minute mark, the momentum was in their favor. It shouldn't have come to that. And this team and its leaders need to show some more maturity.
Coach, how disappointing is it? Last week you thought the team needs to get better defensively, and now it's something else that you'll probably have to work on.
Well, I mean, part of that maturity is our defensive breakdowns in the second half. We did some pretty good things in the first half defensively, and that allowed us to get out and run and get a little continuity offensively, and then all of a sudden we got cool in the second half, especially on the defensive end. And we talked at halftime that they were going to pound it inside and drive the ball. I think they took 15 threes in the first half and were 3 for 15 or something along those lines, and that's not who they are. And so it was pretty simple. They got in the bonus early because we didn't defend in the paint, we didn't rebound in the paint, and like I said, they got a nice little flow going, and then our ills on that end transferred to our offensive end.
That the other game you didn't want, the free throws were not the issue at that point, but now are you beginning to become concerned about the free throws and confidence, and the guys that normally make free throws are missing free throws?
Yeah, it's an issue. I mean, we can't continue to shoot 50% or below and expect to win too many games. So that's part of toughness, in my opinion. We got guys that have great form. We have guys that shoot them well in practice. We've been doing peer pressure free throws all week, and they step up and knock them in. They gotta find a way to do it mentally on game night.
3 offensive rebounds, is that effort? Is that maturity? And what is that?
Well, that was another point at halftime we talked about. I just didn't think what guys were going, and that those are effort plays. And those are, second effort plays. And maybe the fact that we shot it so well in the first half, we got a little comfortable standing around. But we've got athletic, long, strong guys but they don't come to you. You got to go get them. And there's that requires effort.
Coach, with it being a maturity lapse, like you said, what kind of things do you work on this week to get ready for Iowa State?
Well, we're going to go back to basics starting tomorrow, and it's going to be demanded that every minute on the floor, their concentration level, their execution level, their maturity level is getting better daily. And that's on me to make sure I get it out of them, and I'm going to do my darndest to do that. But I'm not going to stand up here again and say they're disappointed. I told them in the locker room, we're great at being disappointed after the fact. We got to do something about controlling our destiny during the game.
Andrew, during that 7-minute scoring drought in the second half, what were you guys talking about on the court? Or what can you just kind of take us through what was going on?
We were just trying to stay focused and not letting the missed shots bother us, and trying to stay together as a team. But we still had some lapses, like Coach said, and we can't have that carryover. That if we're not scoring, we have to have confidence in ourselves to make plays defensively and stop the other team. That way, when we're not scoring, neither is the other team. And we didn't do that during that stretch, and that's how they were able to close the lead.
Andrew, what's your role now in trying to help refocus your teammates as a captain?
Just got to work hard on the floor and practice now. I mean, we just got to do what we can. We just have to do what we can. You know, every drill, that whatever they have us to do, you know, starting tomorrow, you know, Friday and Saturday, it's got to be. And for us, I think it's more mental right now. I think we just have to, you know, the coaches are getting tired of telling us the same thing, and we have to step up and know what's expected of us, and we're not doing that together as a team, you know, as a whole. So, you know, we just got to come ready and practice tomorrow. These next 3 days, you know, getting ready for the next game and knowing that the same thing we do in practice, how we approach practice these next couple of days, you know, we have to, you know, approach it well with mental toughness, and we have to carry that over into a game situation.
Jim, Milos scores 11 points in 4 minutes there in the first half. Gets you guys back in the game, gets you the lead, and then he's out. Are you tempted to stay with him longer, or are you just thinking that you need to get Taylor back in the game, or what?
I was happy, you know, with Milos's minutes, and he understands his role on this team, and you know he's going to play, you know, minutes behind Taylor, and you know we gave him some other opportunities to get going again, and you know it was you know I felt pretty comfortable with his role and his involvement and execution.
Talk a little bit about the news from earlier about Dyricus and losing him for some time.
Well, I'm disappointed for Dyricus. He was playing at a high level, and you know it's hard to, you know, he's worked so hard to get to this point where he's productive and he's really fitting into our system. So to have this layoff, I just feel, you know, sorry for him. But that means other guys have to step up. You know, Milos is a great example. He stepped up tonight and did a great job.
Anything else? Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Mr. Hurt.